You saw Hunter Campbell in Dagestan earlier in the week. You knew that for him to go there, he had to be doing big business. Big business. It feels like now we're finally getting closer to what's next. I know Islam's not afraid of anyone. I know Ilia is not afraid of anyone. Those guys will fight anybody. I'm just happy that now we've finally gotten to a point where we understand who is fighting who.
Daniel Cormier has just announced the most anticipated fight between Islam Makhachev and Ilia Topuria. However, Ilia Topuria revealed on the biggest talk show in Spain that he has already spoken with the UFC and is planning to fight on the 28th depending on the results of this Saturday's fights. He said his next opponent could be either Islam Makhachev or Charles Oliveira. UFC President Dana White later confirmed that Topuria's statement was accurate, adding that while there are still many moving parts, what Topuria said is not wrong.
Ilia Topuria just mentioned today in the biggest show and the biggest talk show in Spain that he already spoke with the promotion and he said that he's fighting on the 28th. But it depends on the outcome on Saturday. That will be if he will be fighting with Islam Makhachev or Charles Oliveira. Is that something that it's already set in stone, or is it something that you're gonna look after on Saturday?
There are still a lot of moving pieces and parts to this thing, but yes, what he said is definitely not wrong.
Khabib Nurmagomedov gave his opinion on a potential matchup between Ilia Topuria and Islam Makhachev, saying he doesn't believe Topuria has earned a title shot yet. He explained that Makhachev is approaching his mid-30s and likely has a limited window left in his career, so it's important he faces well-established contenders with solid accomplishments. In Khabib's eyes, Topuria hasn't faced any top-tier names so far and still needs to do more to show he's ready to challenge the reigning champion.
И он дрался, и он даже дрался с чемпионом 66, летел к нему. Он сам на то, да, в Австралию полетел, у него там на заднем дворе подрался. Команда, мы считаем, что Топурия, он достойный боец. Но он чемпион, защитил пояс, выиграл очень серьезных ребят. Но эти все ребята, которые были в 66, даже тот же самый Холлоуэй, который он выиграл, он перешел на 70, он ничего не сделал. Из-за этого нам нужно, чтобы Исламу тоже немного осталось. Если так посмотреть, Исламу скоро 34 будет. Но Ислам тоже хочет драться не с Топурией и с Волконовским, или который вышел на замену с Майканом. Ислам хочет драться с большими именами, которые заслуживают, которые давно уже в 70 килограмм. Ты переходишь вес, заслужи, и у нас примерно вот такая позиция.
Joe Rogan disagreed with Khabib's comments, saying it is clear that Ilia Topuria has earned a shot at the lightweight title. He argued that when a reigning champion steps up in weight, especially after knocking out top fighters like Max Holloway and Alexander Volkanovski, the next step toward a second belt is obvious. Rogan called it a no-brainer, adding that Topuria has done everything necessary to deserve the opportunity and is ready to leave the featherweight division behind for a run at 155 pounds.
Because you have a world champion versus a world champion. Like, if anybody deserves a fight for the world title in the next weight class, it's you. It's simple. It's simple. You knocked out Max Holloway. I mean, it's simple. You knocked out Alexander Volkanovski, one of the greatest of all time. It's simple. That's a no-brainer. That's the fight. You know, he doesn't want to fight 45 anymore. He wants to fight 55. World title shot.
However, Daniel Cormier spoke about Hunter Campbell's recent visit to Dagestan, saying that for someone like Campbell to make that trip, it had to involve serious business. Cormier felt that this move signaled real progress toward finalizing what's next in the lightweight or welterweight picture. He said he would have loved to be a fly on the wall during those talks, especially if the topic was about getting someone like Islam Makhachev to move up and fight at 170. Cormier made it clear that Islam is not afraid of anyone and will fight anybody, and he's just glad that things are finally starting to fall into place, with matchups becoming clearer.
You saw Hunter Campbell in Dagestan earlier in the week. You knew that for him to go there, he had to be doing big business. Big business. It feels like now we're finally getting closer to what's next. I know Islam's not afraid of anyone. I know Ilia is not afraid of anyone. Those guys will fight anybody. I'm just happy that now we've finally gotten to a point where we understand who is fighting who.
Daniel Cormier also backed Khabib Nurmagomedov's opinion on the possible fight between Islam Makhachev and Ilia Topuria, saying it probably isn't worth the risk for the lightweight champion. He pointed to Makhachev's earlier super fight against Alexander Volkanovski, noting that even though Volkanovski was the #1 pound-for-pound fighter at the time, Makhachev didn't get the recognition one might expect from such a big win.
I believe the response to those fights is why they feel it's not. Because in those fights, you had a guy in Volk who's the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world, unquestioned. He beat him, and he did not get the respect or the love that might have been anticipated, right?
Cormier explained that super fights are usually designed to elevate the winner's status, but that only seems to happen when the smaller fighter comes out on top. Since Islam is the naturally bigger athlete, beating a smaller opponent like Topuria might not bring the same respect or momentum. He agreed with Khabib that the risk outweighs the reward, especially as Makhachev's career window continues to narrow.
Super fights mean that the person that comes on the other side of the super fight feels a lift after winning said super fight. I did it. I felt it after beating Stipe Miocic. Islam Makhachev, he had the fight, won the super fight, didn't feel the love because it was like, well, you beat a smaller guy. Maybe that's the case though whenever you're the bigger guy and you actually win. Maybe the love comes when you're the smaller guy and you win the fight. But Khabib's talking about the risk versus the reward, essentially. And the reward or the juice wasn't worth the squeeze, at least in the first case.
Mateusz Gamrot shared his thoughts on a potential clash between Ilia Topuria and Islam Makhachev, calling it a compelling matchup but doubting Topuria's ability to win. He observed that Makhachev holds a significant physical advantage and that anyone aiming to compete with him needs to match his strength and size. Gamrot emphasized that Islam is dangerous across all areas of the fight game, and without a similar physical frame, it's tough to succeed against him.
For me, interesting fight, but but I don't know. Topuria is small guy. Islam is really big guy, and I don't think that Topuria has changed against him. You know, like if you wanna fight with Islam, you have to be like big guy, like similar like him, because he is good everywhere. But if your body is smaller than him, so you don't have change for sure.
Arnold Allen explained why he believes Islam Makhachev might be cautious about accepting a bout with Ilia Topuria. He noted that Makhachev has already faced a string of smaller fighters and late replacements, and may now prefer more established challengers. Still, Allen admitted that Topuria brings big fight energy and would be a major name for Islam to conquer. He added that Topuria has surprised him in the past and could do it again, though he still sees Makhachev as the likely winner, potentially in dominant fashion.
I understand why Islam wouldn't want it, right? He wants to fight legit contenders, and he's had like featherweights, ex-featherweights, late notice guys, replacements. He wants to sort of solidify his title reign, but probably is no bigger fight than Ilia, right? If he goes and batters Ilia, it looks pretty good.
Do you think he beats Ilia?
These guys, I don't know. To be honest, I've ruled him out a few. Oh, we're gonna get run. Hello.
About to get ran over.
Good.
Sorry.
Ah.
My bad.
I don't know. Every time I've ruled him out, he proves me wrong. So
Yeah.
I'm not going to do it again. Yeah, like I say, I think Islam wins and he gets ironed out. So
Jorge Masvidal threw strong support behind Ilia Topuria's ground game, saying he would bet heavily in Topuria's favor. Masvidal highlighted Ilia's aggressive grappling and excellent takedown defense. He explained that if someone attempts a sloppy takedown on Topuria, there's a high chance Ilia flips the position and takes over, putting his opponent in serious danger.
I'd bet the house on Ilia. His grappling, offensively, it's very good. If like you shoot it on this guy's legs and you make a mistake and you're the one going for the takedown, he has a very good chance that he might put your ass to sleep.
Arman Tsarukyan gave his opinion, calling the fight between Topuria and Makhachev competitive and unpredictable. He praised Topuria's sharp boxing, but pointed out that Topuria has yet to be tested against a high-level grappler like Islam. Tsarukyan said the outcome could go either way, and added that if he doesn't get the title shot, Topuria is probably next in line.
If Islam and Ilia fought for the title, how do you see that one playing out?
It's a tough fight. Ilia, better striking, good boxing. He never fought with guys who can wrestle very well like Islam. So we'll see, it's a 50-50 fight.
Do you think they're going to give Ilia the opportunity to fight Islam for the title if it's not you?
I think so. I'm open for everybody from top 5.
Dustin Poirier analyzed the matchup by saying that if Ilia Topuria can keep the fight standing and shut down Islam's takedowns, his hands might give him the edge. He mentioned that Islam has made noticeable improvements in striking, becoming more elusive and tricky. Reflecting on his own bout with Makhachev, Poirier noted the unusual distance management Islam uses, but ultimately felt that Topuria might struggle due to the physical differences between them.
I mean, if he can stop the takedowns, I think his boxing is better than Islam's. I think he's a bigger puncher. Islam's technique is getting a lot better on the feet. He's kind of crafty and elusive. When I fought him, he fought at a weird range, but I think the size difference is just too much, I believe.
Demetrius Johnson weighed in, calling a fight between Makhachev and Topuria an exciting stylistic clash. He acknowledged Islam's ability to control distance and land hard kicks to the body, but questioned if Topuria could catch one and turn it into a grappling exchange. Johnson doubted that would happen, saying Ilia is the superior boxer, though he referenced how Islam handled a technical striker like Poirier as a sign of how he might manage Topuria.
Ilia Topuria moving up to lightweight. If he does fight Islam Makhachev, how do you think that fight goes?
I think it'll be an interesting matchup because I look at Islam's very good about using his length and throwing the body kick. So are we going to see Ilia Topuria catch a kick for a takedown and start grappling with him? I doubt it. Ilia Topuria is a better boxer. We saw what Islam could do against a good boxer when it comes to Dustin Poirier.
Alexander Volkanovski gave a balanced take, saying that while facing Makhachev would be a major challenge for Topuria, he believes Ilia has knockout potential. Volkanovski complimented Topuria's striking approach, his ability to stay calm, pick his shots, and wait for an opening. He also noted that Islam would likely stick to a cautious strategy, knowing the threat that Ilia's power presents.
Look, it just comes to can Ilia catch him? That's what it is, and he definitely can. Ilia's very, especially with his approach, he really backs his strike and his boxing. He really knows that he will eventually find the chin, and he's stoic till that happens. You know what I mean? He is on task, and he doesn't. You know what I mean? He'll go even if things aren't working. He's still going to try and find it. So I think Islam's going to be a tough matchup for him because Islam can be quite defensive and safe. I think he's going to know he needs to play it safe with Ilia because he knows Ilia is going to have that puncher's chance.
Luke Thomas shared his perspective, saying that if the fight stays on the feet, Ilia Topuria could land something big and potentially knock Islam Makhachev out. He suggested that in a pure striking battle, Topuria might hold the advantage and possibly come out on top if he can keep the fight standing.
If a guy like Islam is forced to stand with Topuria for whatever reason, there's a good chance Topuria knocks him out. I think that this is what I mean. Like, imagine you could take Saryukian's wrestling on the defensive side and put it in the body of Topuria. That guy beats Islam.
Max Holloway offered his thoughts by praising Makhachev's all-around skills, saying it's hard to bet against someone so complete. He emphasized Islam's ability to control the pace and direction of a fight, which could make it very tough for Topuria to find success. Holloway believes Islam's experience and versatility give him a clear edge in this matchup.
Ilia versus Makhachev, what would you think? Who would win?
I mean, bro, it's hard to go against Islam. His fighting style is a tough one. He likes wrestling. He likes striking. Now he's falling in love with his striking. It's hard to bet against Islam. At the end of the day, if he gets it, that's cool, but probably not. He has Volk and Diego driving down the door right now, so I think they might keep him down here.
Bo Nickel gave Islam Makhachev the top spot in pound-for-pound rankings, but also expressed belief that Ilia Topuria could be a legitimate challenge. He brought up how Volkanovski's wrestling created problems for Islam in their first fight, and said that if Topuria can bring similar tools, he may be able to compete well.
Ilia versus Makhachev, what would you think? Who would win?
I mean, bro, it's hard to go against Islam. His fighting style is a tough one. He likes wrestling. He likes striking. Now he's falling in love with his striking. It's hard to bet against Islam. At the end of the day, if he gets it, that's cool, but probably not. He has Volk and Diego driving down the door right now, so I think they might keep him down here.
Sean O'Malley chimed in by recognizing the size difference between the two fighters, but still expressed excitement about the matchup. He praised Topuria's talent and called the potential fight a future blockbuster. O'Malley believes that if both men stay on track and keep winning, a fight between them could become one of the sport's biggest attractions.
Ilia versus Makhachev, what would you think? Who would win?
I mean, bro, it's hard to go against Islam. His fighting style is a tough one. You know, he likes wrestling. He likes striking. Now he's falling in love with his striking. It's hard to bet against Islam. At the end of the day, if he gets it, that's cool, but probably not. He has Volk and Diego driving down the door right now, so I think they might keep him down here.
Merab Dvalishvili voiced his support for Ilia Topuria as the next challenger for Islam Makhachev, stating that since Makhachev moved up from the 145 division and gave up his title, Topuria has earned the opportunity to fight for the lightweight belt. He suggested that Makhachev appears to be dodging the matchup, despite previously saying that champions should always face the top contenders, a statement Dvalishvili agreed with. Now, he feels Makhachev is making excuses to avoid Topuria and pointed out that many fans believe Ilia is the rightful next opponent. He hopes the fight should be made soon.
So Ilia has to fight Islam Makhachev, especially he vacated his belt and he's not anymore 145 and he's the best deserving contender for the 155 belt, but somehow Islam ignoring him. I'm sure you guys, everybody remember that Islam told me only one word in press conference: Merab, I respect you, but when you have a top contender, you should fight him. And I said, okay, I'm fighting. But now he has a top contender as a Ilia Topuria, but he's not fighting because he's saying some other things. And we all agree that Ilia deserves this fight more, and hopefully this happening.
Georges St-Pierre shared his thoughts on a potential fight between Islam Makhachev and Ilia Topuria, praising the exceptional talent of both competitors. He pointed out Makhachev's rare ability to control and overwhelm opponents with ease, calling it a clear display of dominance. St-Pierre also praised Makhachev's aggressive style and world-class grappling, saying the high level of skill on both sides makes the matchup especially thrilling for fans.
Yeah, I mean, that's another same thing. I mean, Topuria, when he touches, it falls, you know, and on the other side, Makhachev, he applies so much pressure. He's an elite grappler. I mean, they're both good in every areas. It's a great fight for the fans.
In a separate conversation, he acknowledged that while Makhachev's success is built on elite ability, no fighter is unbeatable. St-Pierre emphasized that one small mistake can change everything in MMA, reminding everyone that even the best can fall.
Yeah, I mean, that's another same thing. I mean, Topuria, when he touches, it falls, you know, and on the other side, Makhachev, he applies so much pressure. He's an elite grappler. I mean, they're both good in every areas. It's a great fight for the fans.
Michael Chandler weighed in on the potential fight between Islam Makhachev and Ilia Topuria, highlighting the noticeable size difference between the two. He noted that Makhachev is the naturally bigger athlete at lightweight and praised his elite grappling abilities. While Chandler gave Topuria the edge in striking, he stressed that Ilia would need to stay on his feet and avoid takedowns to be truly dangerous. Despite acknowledging Topuria's threat on the feet, Chandler still sees Makhachev as the favorite due to his strength, experience, and complete skill set.
If Islam fights Ilia, I mean, I think there's definitely a size difference. I think Ilia is a lot smaller than Islam. Islam is a big lightweight, a tall lightweight, and he's good in every area. However, Ilia's definitely got the edge in the striking department, and Ilia is very, very, very patient. Now, if he's able to not get taken down and he's able to just patiently break down Islam with those big shots that he lands, the big punches that he lands, it's going to be a good night for Ilia. But I think if Islam gets his hands on him and gets him taken down, I mean, grappling with 145-pounders is a lot different than grappling with Islam, who is one of the best grapplers that we've seen in a very long time. He's strong. He's great at doing damage and getting good positions. I'd have to give the edge to Islam just by size, by strength of schedule thus far and defending the belt, but I wouldn't count Ilia out.
Benail Dariush offered his perspective on the potential matchup between Ilia Topuria and Islam Makhachev, saying that while Topuria may be the most worthy new contender in the lightweight division, there's doubt about whether Makhachev's team would be open to facing another fighter coming up from featherweight. Dariush noted that after already taking on 2 opponents from the 145-pound division, Makhachev's camp probably feels that chapter is closed and is looking for fresh challenges within the lightweight ranks. He admitted that Topuria brings real danger, but believes his featherweight background makes the fight less appealing for Islam and his team.
If Ilia is coming into the division, I honestly think he's the most deserving, but I don't think Makhachev and his team right now want to give a shot to another 45er. I think they feel like they did it twice. That's enough, you know. Now they want contenders, and at the same time, but Makhachev also wants to fight new guys. So it's kind of one of those things where you're stuck because you have a new opponent, but he's a former 45er, and you're like, I don't want to fight another 45er. So it's a weird.
Aaron Pico shared his excitement about the potential matchup between Ilia Topuria and Islam Makhachev, calling it an exciting moment for the sport and something fans are eager to see. He acknowledged that both fighters bring unique styles to the cage and noted that Topuria has found great success with his approach. However, Pico believes that Makhachev's high-level skill set and experience could prove to be too much for Topuria to overcome.
I think it's good for the sport, to be honest with you. I mean, him and Islam, I mean, people really want to see that. Everybody has their own style, and it seems like his style is just doing what he did. Honestly, I believe Islam is just a little too much for him, but I'm also a fan, you know, so I would have loved to see that.
So what are your thoughts on this? Share your thoughts in the comment section and make sure to subscribe and like if you enjoyed the video.